exactly 10 o'clock. Quiet on the set, please. And action.
I love it.
I'm going to put my glasses on so I can really read it. Okay. I'm going to call to order the meeting of the Board of Commissioners for Thursday, December 19th, 2024, 10 o'clock. Please join me.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any media questions? I don't see anyone.
No one on the Zoom.
Okay, public comment?
Yes, Fred Kane from Wolfboro. I want to make a comment on last week's meeting when we were talking about the CFO and the COO, and the chair stated that she had checked with council and that it was a promotion and didn't have to follow the policy.
I didn't exactly say that we didn't have to follow the policy, that it was considered a promotion. I don't know if I said that or not, I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, so that prompted me a little bit more. I went to the 2025 proposed budget, and I looked in here, and we have a CFO salary, which is coded 4150.007, so I assume that's a secret agent for $1. And then we have contracted services under 0098. The chair also stated that she had a 3-year contract, so if we're changing this, wouldn't that contract have to be amended? You stated you were going to, it was a promotion, she was going to do more work for the same amount of money, which to me, that's not a promotion. Anytime I've asked to do more work and changed my title, I got a bump in my pay. So I question, that there's an alternative motive that was going forward. Now also, I'd like to ask, you voted to spend the ARPA funds under the standard allowance ruling. Can you tell us what that standard allowance ruling is?
I cannot, I don't have it in front of me. Thank you for your question, and we can get that for you,
May I answer that, Chairman?
if you want to.
My understanding is you can elect that option, which is to spend the money for services if you receive less than $10 million and you have less than 250,000 residents.
Exactly, I didn't know the exact
in
verbiage.
the county.
So-
And we did in fact check that option in 2023. I don't know exactly when it was,
So,
but we are allowed to do it. Whether we should do it or not is another story. We are allowed to do it.
So what are we spending the funds on where we haven't started this project at all? What's those funds being spent on?
Thank you for your questions.
Nothing at the moment.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
We will go into recess for Hales Location Board of Selectmen meeting.
10:04.
We have the minutes for December 12th, Hales Location. Evans have copies. Is all their copies in here, or
No, there's just one copy of the minutes. I think it's only one sentence maybe, or two.
would you like to look at it first?
And for bureaucracies, their system working in the septic system, that
I
the
have no
state
news
ever
on
move
it.
it along?
I don't know, I have not heard anything from them.
Move to accept.
Second that?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
next thing is we have the New Hampshire Department of Revenue Administration, the Municipal and Property Bureau, Equalization Bureau. It is the 2024 Municipal Assessment Data Certificate for the town of Hill's location. Okay, this needs to be signed by all three commissioners. If you would like to take a look at it.
Do I need a motion on that one?
Yeah, do you want
motion
to look
that-
at it first, or no?
Oh, yeah, probably that would help.
Josephine. Used to be our assessor.
I guess we should make the motion now to sign it. Make a motion that we sign the municipal assessment.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Melissa,
Yep.
Leno's in the waiting room.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
May stop in there today, and go up north.
Yeah.
And then,
That's done. The next thing that we have for Hales is a check for $80,519.04 made out to the North Conway Water Precinct. It's for their contract for their ambulance service, fire department. So, and to my much disappointment, this bill was due in April, and because of some mix-up, it didn't get here until this week. I think that it was sent to the tax collector, and she said, I'm no longer doing the bills here, and she assumed that they would send it here, and they assumed that she would send it, and nobody did until it's here, so here you go if you'd like to take a look. So we need to sign that.
It's a water bill for $80,000.
It's not just water, it's for ambulance and fire.
Oh, water precinct, okay.
Yep. Because they're out of the district.
Why was it, did they tell us?
Because they sent it to Hales, and Hales said, well, we're not doing the checks here anymore. So
Oh.
they assumed that they would send it here, and I think the department assumed that she would send it on, and didn't get it till this
And
past
here
week.
we are.
Here we are.
we need a motion on that one?
Yep.
Second.
I'll make that motion, but I'd like to add on noting their late arrival.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
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 And what else do we have here for Hales? Okay, this is just a deposit, so I don't think there's any, we've never voted on deposits or anything, so that's just for,
So sales.
yeah, that goes to him. Yeah. I believe that's all for Hales.
Now, whose treasurer gets to sign that? Theirs or ours?
I can,
As treasurer?
no, but, because I'm on the checking account, and since there's no treasurer,
Oh, I see.
he's fine, yeah. Is yeah, so when the treasurer starts, he'll be doing that. We'll have to get him changed over on the checking and stuff. Yep. Okay. I think that's it for Hales. So we will go back into our regular scheduled meeting. It is
10:10.
10:10. Okay. approval for the minutes of December 12th. I haven't had a chance to look at them yet, so. The only thing that I see is in the comment that Commissioner McCarthy told us that she would fulfill the role of commissioner if elected. That was not this time, that was quite some time ago that I made that comment. I don't believe I made it last week. It doesn't make a big difference, but.
Make a motion that we accept.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. And I don't have the figures for the payroll. Do you have them, Melissa? Because we didn't sign the checks yet, so I didn't see the manifest.
I can get those for you.
Okay. Okay. So we need them for the 13th, 17th, and the 20th,
Thank you. Yep.
and the 10th. Okay, meeting minutes, we did those. Okay. So I guess we can, while we're waiting for the manifest, we can go back to that. The next thing would be the bid recommendations. Come on up.
Melissa, Leo has no audio on his end for some reason. Just to check to make sure that it's not us.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You don't need that? All right.
Are you guys just sitting on the glass of water?
You want to leave or? Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Thank you for coming this way. How was your trip?
It was good. So
The main road.
sunny up here. It was freezing rain when I left, so I was a little worried, but I drove out of it, so that's good.
Okay.
So you opened bids last week. Will and Melissa got them down to us. We did bid tabulations for each of them and sent those out. So I'll start with contract 4.
PRB Construction was the low bidder. Their base bid was $447,000, and then we had 4 ad alternates, I think. And with those ad alternates, brought it to $551,000. So that bid, included in that is an item, a contingency item allowance, if you will, for 10% of what we thought it would be. So it was, we included $40,000, so there's some contingency in there. Contract 5 is the water main down on Old Route 28. And Grenice and Sons was the low bidder. Their base bid on that was $1,107,912.10. And again, that one, we included a bid item in that for allowance, contingency allowance. So there's $120,000 in there for any unforeseen circumstances, change orders that are needed, that sort of thing. So there's available funds for change orders, unanticipated items that hopefully we won't use, but we'll probably, usually something comes up. But so the next steps, if you want to move forward with these, would be to sign the notice of award, which I have with me if you so choose, for both contracts. And then once we give that to the contractors, they have to give us their bonds. They get their bonds and insurance certificates. We put those into the contract and then execute the agreement, the full contract, which would require somebody to sign. So that is the process. I'll go over the budget. The latest budget sheet with you. So this includes everything on the project to date. So the top 4 sections are stuff that's already under contract, and kind of the status of that. When you get down to the yellow part, those are items that have not been contracted yet, that are being proposed for contract. So under future engineering, there are 5 tasks there that would be engineering services for the construction administration, field observation, that sort of thing, record drawings, engineering work on the construction contracts. And then if you move down to the next section, there's the 2 yellow lines. Those would be the 2 contracts with the contractors for contract 4, contract 5. Under equipment, and Will, that $4,000 is a guess, because I know you ordered that hydrant, the extra hydrant that would go down on Old Route 28, but I don't have like an invoice or anything for that, so I put that in as a placeholder. So that brings the total, if you go down to the expenses total line, it's about 6 lines from the bottom there. The total expenditures would be $2,574,797.49. There was, what Bonnie told me was that $2.5 million of the ARPA had been set aside or budgeted for the water project. And then we also, for some of the work that has been done above, we had $11,000 in grants that came from DES to cover that. So at the very bottom, I've got the...
110,000.
Oh, 110,000, I'm sorry.
On grants, yeah.
Yep. And then we do have another grant application in for one of the ad alternates on this work. It'll probably be like a 15 or 20,000, but I didn't include that because we don't know if you'll get that or not. But so at the very bottom, I just did a quick summary with the funding of $2.5 million, the grants of $110,000. There was some unused money above for the asset management that wasn't used, $984. I included that. I took that out because we can't use it for this. We won't be using it for this. It's already contracted for something else, but it'll go unused for a total of the $2.574 million, which leaves $34,000 roughly in the budgeted ARPA funds of the 2.5 million. And I think we've pretty much covered most of the work. The only thing I can think of that we haven't really addressed yet, that you might want to address at some point, is the fire pond. We did talk about trying to, at some point, dredge that out and get the connection, the
Right.
pumper connection fixed, but, and maybe, you know, if there's money there left and we don't use all of the contingency in the construction projects, you know, maybe that's something we could do later, but, I mean, it looks like we can do everything that we were planning to do, or hoping to do, within the budget, within the funds budgeted. Okay, and then the last thing I have is, I do have our contracts for the construction phase, which are those top 4 yellow items. That are probably ready to go. We met with Bonnie on Monday, before she left, and, because I know there's some stuff with the ARPA funds, you know, that it should be encumbered by the end of the year. So she indicated it would be best if we could get the contract signed with the contractor and everything by the end of the year. I don't know if that can happen, you know, getting their bonds and insurance and all that stuff, but she said at least if you want to award it, if we can get the notice of award
Yeah, letter of
signed.
intent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that, you know, kind of would lock it in kind of thing, and, you know. I mean, I guess there's some flexibility with the way it, I can't remember what the terminology was, that thing you guys voted for last week,
The standard.
the standard allowance or something like that. That gives more flexibility to doing it. She said it would be advantageous if we could at least get the notice of awards out, signed. And I do have those if you guys want to do that.
What was the time frame to get all this done, to be done?
It'd be next summer, so spring construction.
I have a few questions, Madam Chairman. What was the original estimate of this project?
For the whole thing? It was somewhere, it was between 2 and 2.5 million, I think. Do you remember?
I thought it was between 2.5 and 3.
3.
I thought your estimate came in a little higher than what the 2.5 million that the commissioners allowed.
Well, the 2, because we
originally.
thought it was 2 originally. We-
Oh, okay.
You know, I've been carrying the budget on 2, and then Bonnie said it was 2.5, which let us do this.
Do you have this?
I don't know the exact number, it was so long ago we did it, but I know we thought we were gonna be short, we didn't expect to be able to do everything.
Yeah, I remember we
For
thought
what we have, but, I mean, we've been very, and Will's been very diligent about, you know, doing what he can do, kind of with the hydrants and the meters and that sort of thing, so that we didn't, you know, which saved money because we didn't have to get involved in it, and he kind of took care of it and that sort of thing, so.
Looking at the plan, if I'm looking at it, according to the plan, 1 inch equals 120 feet on the plan. We're replacing 1,140 feet of water line?
No, I think it's about 22,000 feet. I'll flip the big tab.
Okay.
2150 is what we did. It goes from basically the old courthouse down there, across 171, and then down, all the way down to the fire, or the DOT station, down at the end there.
So do I not have the accurate plan here? Is this not the plan?
What is this? Oh, that's a 30%, yeah, that's old.
Yes, but if you look at the bottom, it says 1 inch equals 120
120
feet.
feet, yes.
And that's about 9 inches, so it's actually how many feet?
2150.
We have 2150 in the bid. And we do go to station, we actually go to station 2350 here. So if you'll notice, and we may have shortened it up from these, because this is the 30%. So we may not have brought it down this far in the final ones, but if you, and maybe that scale is incorrect or something, I don't know, but if you look here, this is where it starts.
Right.
This 1 plus 0, 0, 2 plus 0, 0, that goes all the way down to the end. Those are stations of 1,000 feet. So, pages are sticking together.
So what's that give us for a per foot?
So the end is shown here at station. This is at station 23 plus 0, 0, 2375. So that would be 2,300 feet here. So we may have shortened it a little bit on the final one. 'Cause
So
we only bid 2,150.
Do these bids come in your experience, relatively close to what it would cost to do a project like this, in terms of
Yeah, because
linear foot cost?
Yeah, I mean, the bids are unit prices, so, you know, if we only install 2,000 feet of linear pipe instead of 2,150, you pay for 2,000, right? So you pay for exactly what gets installed, you know. There are usually, like I said, there is contingency in here. We do have the 10% contingency in bid item 42. We usually include some other allowances as well. You know, there's an allowance for restoration. There's an allowance for the DOT permit, dewatering, traffic control, that sort of thing. All kinds of things that'll be very variable. So our goal in setting those amounts is that we wouldn't be over that, you know, it would be under. Usually there's a little bit left over that gets change ordered out.
So who actually
It all
reviewed the
depends.
bid? It's you,
We did, yeah.
you personally?
Yeah.
And these bids include, as I see here, all your administrative and supportive services, correct? There's
That
no
would be in
extra.
the construction contract, that's these upper yellow items.
Since this has been going on for a while, it might be worth just a quick recap of why we're doing this. Why are we doing this?
Both contracts or just the
Well,
water main?
the water main.
So
Right,
the-
in my understanding, the one we have now is still working,
Yes, it's 4-inch.
and nobody's complaining about the water service.
It's 4-inch, as far as we know. I mean, we don't know exactly what it is, but it works number-wise, hydraulics. So there's a fire hydrant at the end of that doesn't have sufficient flow because it's a 4-inch line. I mean, you need a larger line to provide fire service down there. The other thing is, I don't know that we know the age of it. That's in 2001, all of the water mains were replaced except that one. So there's no record of what that is really. We just know from the, you know, well tapping it a few times in the town, you know, having dug and found it, they think, a few times, that they think it's PVC. So we don't know exactly what it is or where it is. But basically it's undersized for, you know, providing fire flow to that hydrant down there. And the condition, I don't know if you've had issues with it, with the condition, you know. I don't know if there are condition issues with it.
I wouldn't say we've had any significant condition issues with it. Also, the other issue that leads into it is this lead survey with the, having all the unknowns with the feds with that. So that whole row, we took the customer side, but we don't know between the main and the curb stop, which is our responsibility, we don't know what material that's made out of. And since we didn't know, we had to send letters to all the customers down there. And then there's, you know, I don't know what they seem to change their minds on how they do things, but at one point there's talk about, you know, you may have to dig up a certain amount of those to verify
Right.
what they are, if I'm correct.
Right, so if this project doesn't go ahead, that's something you're gonna have to
Right.
do. They call it potholing, they'll have to excavate and verify the material of the service lines is all.
Well, since I haven't seen all of this until today, I would like a little time to review it, Madam Chair. And I don't think we're under any time frame
Well, we
pressure.
have to have it done by I have to have it signed by the end of the year.
No, we don't, but not according to Bonnie. She said that's not true. She said she wants, for whatever reason, she wants it signed by the end of the year, but there's no time frame with the funds. So what is the hurry? I'd like a little more time to look at this.
I just wanted it out of the way.
Yes.
I got it going. That's my feeling.
Well, it's a $2 million project. I don't think another week or two will affect anything.
Well, we don't have a meeting next week.
So it'll be
Unless you wanna call.
So it'll be 2 weeks.
What's your feelings? No.
I mean, just
You've been
in
working on this for a long time.
Well, that was just what I was gonna say, this has kind of been in the planning stages for how long have we been doing this?
At least 3
This
years
is the
now.
end of it, right, these were the big pieces at the end. So it has been planned for a while. Like I say, originally looking at all the work that needed to be done, and we've prioritized it, you know. We didn't think we would have enough money to do it all with the budget that was originally, but we managed to work it in to get pretty much everything done, and within the funds that were budgeted for it, so.
Yes?
Madam Chair, can you tell us how many residents this would affect down there, this $2 million project for water? Originally, when they talked about the water, I believe we have under 50 homes, residents that pay into this system. So I'd just like to know how many residents this will affect, this line, and we're thinking of spending over $2 million for.
Thank you for your question.
You want me
If you want.
to- The 2 million isn't just for this line, we got about $1 million for this line, and it's probably just shy of 20, I think, down that stretch,
Probably, I mean, the whole thing's what, 45
Yeah, almost.
total in the village, so.
almost 50.
And probably half
So
of
about
it is
half
the-
of that, so about $1 million is for this line, and the other million and a half has been concentrated up on the hill, which feeds the whole system, has to do with us being 70 to 80% of the water usage right here on the complex. So that's where that has been, but that's how many,
So 20 for this line.
yeah, just under 20 probably.
Just under 20.
Yeah. I mean, say half of 45, roughly, in that ballpark.
And this is something the county chooses to do, correct? We're not obligated to provide water to anybody. Is that contractual?
They've been, since I've been here, they've always had.
Well, this is a really
Yeah.
good question. The question really was, are we contractually obligated to
I don't
provide
know.
water to any of the houses?
I have no idea on that.
Yeah. You'd have to go back to
I don't know, once you start
how
giving
and
it to
why
them
it
after a
was
certain
run
point,
down there,
can
yeah.
Yeah.
you take
Yeah,
it away?
watch it, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be my question.
I assume it was, didn't I want to say I saw somewhere, or heard somewhere, maybe from the town guys, that it was originally run down there because of some contamination or something? Does that
Right.
sound right?
Yeah, so that's, the hearsay that I've gotten from the old timers was that the old gas station that used to be in the center contaminated a lot of the water, people started hooking on, we became a water system because of that essentially. The regulations and all that, I had no clue. The only thing I would question is, after you've set the precedence in doing it so long, is there something saying that, you know, we can't just shut the valve off down there, we have to provide it?
No, I'm not saying we should.
Right, no, I'm just saying, I don't know if
I'm
there's
saying we should. I'm
something.
just trying to figure out what our responsibility is.
Right.
It's a lot of money for 20 homes,
Sure.
$1 million. And the rest of the taxpayers in Carroll County don't get any benefit from this. I'm not saying it shouldn't be done. I'm just saying it's a lot of money. I don't know how the project got picked. I wasn't here then. I do have some questions though, and I would like a couple of minutes, a couple of days to look at it. I don't think that's unreasonable.
Bill, what was your preference?
These people have had that for this many years. It can be very hard to lawsuits and everything else. I would just say, well, let's just do it.
If you would like to make that motion.
We make that motion and we proceed for the amount listed. Either 200 and 2 million, what would be the number I should use?
I think it's 2,574,000.
Yeah.
So Bill, you're not gonna give me another week to look at this?
Well, you just said we need a couple more weeks.
Well, I do a week, but we're not having a meeting next week. I can't have
Well, that
2 more
brings
weeks.
it to 2
You can't
weeks.
have a week to look at it? It's a $2 million project, and I'm getting the numbers today. I can't look at it for another week?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, so what? It's been this long, it's not going anywhere. Why can't I have 2 weeks to look at it?
Well, I'm not gonna be here, probably in 2 weeks. I don't know when the new people take in and come out and all that stuff. So I wanna take their burden out of their thing.
I don't necessarily agree it's a burden. I mean, they can look at the numbers too. I mean, candidly, I don't think anything should get signed before the new board's seated, but that's another whole issue.
I stuck with my motion
Okay.
for $2,574,797.49.
That actually
What, I'm
includes,
sorry?
that number actually includes some of the work that was already done,
No,
has already
okay.
been done.
Okay, so
So I don't know, I mean, I guess
we
we
better
just,
get the
knock
right
to-
number.
all right, you want me to get the right number?
Please.
All right, so you'd be looking at 101,07, 912,
Melissa.
10 for that contract, 551 for that
And-
one.
If you do, and if you do proceed, could you vote on the two separately? So contract number 4 is X amount and contract number 5 is the other amount? Lynette, do you have that?
Yep, and then
Okay.
you want to do the engineering contract separate, have 3 of them, or?
I think just to have 3 votes to keep
3
it
votes?
cleaner.
Okay, well, that would make it easier, because those are the 3 numbers. So, if you're voting on contract 4, would be 551,000.
Well, are we voting on a letter of intent, or what are we voting on?
To move forward with the projects and proceed with the award.
Madam Chair, I've been raising my hand for a while. Could I ask a question about this?
I
before
couldn't,
you go
I'm
any
sorry, I
further?
haven't seen your hand because,
Oh, I'm sorry. Wouldn't it be cheaper for us to just give these people money, put their own well in? And then we no longer have the expense of this years down the road? I mean, this is ridiculous amount of money for what they're gonna get. And you're using ARPA funds, which keeps saying is not taxpayer money, but it is. It's all taxpayer money. And if you're gonna do it, fine. 20 people, give them their own well. Great, now we're out of it forever. It's their problem. And we don't have to worry about digging up the street.
I guess the issue with that would be is, and I don't know for sure because I don't know all the background, but if that water line was extended down there for the purpose of picking up properties that had contaminated wells.
Well, we just didn't hear that. We asked what the reason was, and there was no reason for that.
That's kind of what we've heard.
Oh,
That's what
okay,
we've
well,
understand kind of from local
I'm
lore, I
just-
guess. I mean, I don't know for sure.
I'm
But
trying to-
usually there's a reason if
I'm-
at some
okay,
point the water
okay, I'm
line was
just-
extended
I'm
down
just-
there to pick up those homes, and it makes sense. It lines up with kind of
Do you
what we've
want-
heard. I
That's
don't
the
know.
reason we should know.
Continue the discussion, or just continue?
continue.
It would be cheaper.
If
Yes.
you
Okay.
can give him the
So,
breakdown of 3.
yep,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
actually you have the numbers here. So contract 4,
Oops.
contract 4 would be this one. Base bid for, that's contract 5. And then you don't have the number for ours, which is 202.
Lena has a question.
Madam Chair, Representative Avaloni has a question.
Okay. Go ahead, Lino.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the commission. Could I just ask that you all speak one at a time, because there's a lot of overtalk we can't hear online. Thank you.
Okay. I did ask, Will gave me a tour when I first came on and all of the issues that they came across with contamination for different houses in different locations, and I remember that stood out. And I'm wondering the responsibility somebody would have if they're drilling their own well and they have no place to drill it, and that's a whole other issue. But I would like to go proceed and go with bid number 2 for $551,000. Oh, no, I'm sorry, where are we? Number 1, 2,
Contract 4.
contract 4,
Is the 551.
$551,000. I make that motion.
I will second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, Madam Chair?
Yes, that would be me. No.
Thank you. Sorry.
All right, I make the motion for contract number 5 for $1,107,912.10 for contract number 5.
I'll second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Is Commissioner McGee also opposed to that?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
And one more?
How about the $202,000 at the bottom? I don't know what
Yep,
that,
for and construction admin, administration, engineering.
was that the last one we need?
And what, I'm sorry, what was it, construction, what?
Construction administration, engineering.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'll make a motion for $202,300 for construction administration, engagement for construction administration.
I'll second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No.
Do you have a letter in the act or something that
Do,
you
there are
send?
no proceeds.
Point of order, Madam Chair, I didn't hear your vote audibly.
I said aye. Yes.
There are 3 copies here of contract 4, and 3 copies for contract 5.
Oh, am I the only one to sign?
Yeah, it just needs a signature.
I see my name's written on there already, so.
Madam Chair, could we have a 4th motion to authorize the chair to sign the document, maybe?
I'll make that motion that we authorize.
Second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No.
Wish we hadn't gotten to all this how many years ago.
Well, I think it's I think it's bad form to do this at this point, but since I've been out voting,
This is our preference.
Yeah.
That really helps.
Good job.
Yeah, so with this, I mean, kind of the goal of this project is to fix all the deficiencies in the water system and get everything kind of up to snuff, if you will, for another 20 years at least. So I think-
Well, we have the money to
Right,
not,
right.
without raising any taxes.
So I think with these projects, we've pretty much gotten through all of that. Like I say, the only thing that we looked at or talked about was, that we haven't done, is the fire pond.
Right.
And that's kind of a maintenance thing, but
Okay, I think I got them all signed.
I don't know if you want to sign our contract.
Is that this one?
Yeah. If you want, I know it's kind of long, if you want time to look at that, you can do that later and have Melissa scan it to me, that's fine too. With these, I'll get the, we'll get the
Where are the
contract.
drawings recorded out of curiosity?
Where are they recorded?
It says contract 5 recorded drawings.
Oh, record drawings. So after.
Oh, record, I'm sorry.
So we do the design drawings, and then the contractor goes out and builds it, and they keep records of what they actually built, because sometimes it's a little bit different, you know, sometimes the water main gets put in a different spot, a valve has to be moved, a hydrant, that sort of thing, and then we correct the drawings, which are the record drawings,
Okay.
and then issue a final set of record drawings, so you have a record of what was actually built.
that's the
Afterwards.
as-built.
Right, they're called record drawings. Contractor side of it is as-built, the engineering side of it is record drawings. Contractors give us their quote as-built, and we make record drawings, so yeah, that's terminology from a legal standpoint, I'm sure.
Madam Chair, point of information, may I?
You may.
If you own the water system, the bills are coming to the county, correct? Well, I believe, it's my understanding that you are contractually responsible for providing that water to them. To answer that question from before.
Thank you. That would have been my feelings also. Okay. Anything else,
Do we know how much ARPA funds are being used to cover this, and is it all ARPA funds?
I just put that away.
Roughly.
The total, yeah,
Total, yes.
the total for all of the water system work, or the total for
For what we just signed.
just what we signed?
For the whole, well, for what we just signed, a contract with.
What we just signed, I tallied up to roughly 1.8 million.
And we have that in the ARPA funds to cover
Yes.
that?
Yeah, and in total on the water system, ARPA plus other grants we've gotten is 2.57 million.
Yeah.
My last point of information is, since the paving has to be done by the town of Ossipee, correct? Have they been involved in this process at all, so they know what they're gonna have to do?
So we met with them originally when we started this project, and they were like, oh, we're planning to pave this road. So why don't we wait a year until you do the water main first, and then do the paving?
Who pays for that part of the job? Does the county pay for that, or is it a combination of Ossipee and the county?
I would expect it would be the town.
The
It's a town
They
road.
were planning, it's a town road, and
Town.
they had planned to do it this year, actually. They were going to reclaim
So
and
it's gonna
pave
be
it. but-
through their regular paving process, not
Right.
specifically to cover the water main.
So once they found out we were doing this, they said, well, geez, it makes sense to delay the paving a year so that we're not cutting up their new pavement, or damaging their.
And they have no
new
responsibility for the meters or anything, that's all the county?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. We have to review and sign assurances for the construction project for USDA funding. Do you have that? We didn't, it's not in our packet.
Actually, you can pass that over, Madam Chair. I'm waiting for the attorneys for the project to okay that you sign this, so I don't have that yet.
Okay, then, do you have the audit letter?
I do.
Engagement? I believe that's already been voted on.
You voted last week to engage Vashon Cloutier to do the 2024 audit, and that's the engagement letter.
Would you like to?
Yeah.
And then we can pass it on.
Pages, yeah. This has to be done by an outside group.
Yes.
That makes it- And we've used these guys before, this company?
I think did we have them last year? I think,
I think this is our 4th year with them,
Okay.
21,
it might be, no, because we had Bonnie,
21, 22, 23, 24. Yes,
this will be
this is the 4th time.
and then we'll put it up for bid again. Or I won't, maybe I won't, but whoever's here next year.
Okay, so
We don't like to use them for more than 3 to 4 years. So
it's, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay with me for this, everybody's information.
Point of information,
Yes.
what was the cost of the contract to do the 2024 audit?
Oh, let me see. It's on here, I don't remember.
It's not in there, Madam Chair.
It's not.
So the engagement letter is just a note to them that
Yep,
you want them to do it,
correct.
basically. Thank you.
Does it make us liable if we don't like what they come up with a number?
No.
Or are we just signing a blank check?
doesn't say anything about that in here. I haven't read the whole thing again. If we want to get that, we don't have to have this signed today? Okay. Do you want to wait until we get an exact amount? It might entail on how many hours they put in is what I think.
And I don't think that auditing services ever give you a total because they don't
They don't
exactly
know
know what
until
they're
the
going to
end.
get into when they
Yeah.
get started. So,
Oh, grants and everything.
We could find out how much we paid them last year. That would give us an idea.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll hold this to the next meeting.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay, I guess that's it. We don't have any, do we have any non-publics?
sorry, I have the manifest numbers for you.
Oh, okay.
You want to vote on those four?
Okay. So,
Those are the minutes to be signed that you approved already.
accounts payable for December 10th, $771,151.07. Payroll for December 13th, $366,383.91. AP for December 18th is $297,884.47. Payroll for December 20 is $229,726.84. Vote to accept.
I'll make that motion to accept.
Okay, I will second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I have one last minute item from the finance office. So the commissioners have to approve abatements of fees, fines, or levies.
Oh,
And
yeah, for the $8.
the finance office is asking the commissioners to allow an $8 write-off in the water account for an outstanding bill from a former customer. They have no way of contacting him and would like to take this charge off for the end of the year. So,
That's
do
a
you,
hard one.
right, if you agree, they would just need a motion to write off $8 in the water
I'll make
system.
that motion. It's a hard
Okay.
one.
Second? Okay, I will second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And you do have one non-public. I think it would go under A in the HR director and the superintendent.
Oh, okay.
I
Thank you.
make a motion to go into non-public, New Hampshire RSA 91A3, the dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee or the disciplining of such employee or the investigation of any charges against him or her unless the employee affected, one, has the right to the meeting, and two, requests that the meeting be open, in which case the request shall be granted. I make that motion.
Second, no? Okay, I will second. All those in favor, roll call vote.
Nelson, yes. McGee?
Yes.
Yes. And McCarthy?
Yes.
10:54.
Melissa, maybe if you could call over finance and see, and just look at their bill for last year, maybe we could just when you come back, what's done.
Yeah.
It'll give us some sort of an idea.
That's just the minutes to sign out.
Okay. Let's just do it now.
What's first?
When are these ARPA funds supposed to come in? Do they give you any idea yet?
What?
What are the
We already
funds?
have them.
We already have them that,
Yeah,
oh,
we're getting interest on them.
oh, okay. We're waiting for some kind of funds to come in. Sure, the money was just, oh, we're gonna get the money, but do we actually get it? The 10 million or whatever?
Yes. Got nine, we're nine. We got it last year.
We do still have, we do still have the
Grant.
the USDA grant for $2 million that we're expecting.
There were things that had to be, there's something.
That's only now.
Why wait? That's right, exactly.
It keeps going, it doesn't
Yeah.
stop.
You never know with projects, always a possibility.
Well, that sounded to me like 20 years, we're gonna be revisiting this whole thing anyway.
Could be.
Well,
The good news is I'll be hiding my own Easter eggs by the time that happens.
I might be too, you know. I always say tomorrow's not a given.
Audio's on.
I started watching a new series, Man on the Inside. It's Ted Danson.
Oh,
Okay, what's it about?
His wife passed away, he's retired, he's bored, so he actually answers a classified ad to go undercover in a nursing home.
That's pretty good.
So, yeah, it's one of those things, it's on Netflix, so you like binge watch it, and now I'm just waiting for season 2, because
That's a very good idea.
it's very well done, it's good.
It's called what?
Inside Man.
Sally Struthers is in it too.
Wow, she's still alive. I thought
Yeah.
she was dead.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's Man on the Inside.
Dancing. All I
Yeah,
can think
right.
of, all I can think of is Cheers.
I know, right? Yeah, it's nice to see him back. So, yeah. Very witty. There's one guy that he comes to the activities in the home, and he's one of the residents, and he always says, everything tastes like copper, and I can't feel my arms. And I don't know why that's so funny, but every time he says it.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I've had days like that, yep.
Did you know denture paste used to have a lot of zinc in it? And then old people were getting zinc poisoning?
Oh,
Because there was zinc in it, because zinc would prevent bacteria, and they didn't know that you can have too much of it.
oh, God, no.
You said copper, so I'm like, well, wait a
Yeah,
minute, it should be
maybe
zinc.
that's it. Yeah. I don't know, a little brevity.
Interlude.
Hang on.
I call that an interlude.
I will, hang on.
I couldn't say the name of who it was, right?
Just a second. Okay, we need a motion
Madam
to
Chair,
come out of non-public?
before you do the not coming out of non-public, I'm sure I'm gonna catch hell for telling you this, but years ago, we did it absolutely correct. And at some point after, you stopped doing it the way we used to do it. It's very good to clearly come out of non-public, get that vote done. Then specify sessions that you used and annotate them by sessions. So technically, you went into session 1 for A.
Yep.
And then you should say, we are sealing A, and then read that A. That's what Commissioner Babson used to do. That way, there's no question that you're sealing that A. It's not required to say session, but it is required for you to say
So if you're
what it
discussing
is.
three things.
I would just do that to cover yourself, so
Okay.
there's no mistake that that is what you're closing.
Makes sense. I make a motion, we come out of a non-public, and we had an evaluation, 90-day review.
You must specify the exemption. That's what happened last time.
So, yeah, he said you're gonna have to specify A.
A, under A. Oh, I see, gotcha. We're gonna call that, it's neither, any of them,
But we're not sealing, well,
we're not doing any of these. Discipline, we're not
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 dismissing,
sealing them?
promotion, compensation.
No, I mean,
we don't have to seal, I mean,
But you said to read
all we
this.
did was discuss it,
Right,
his evaluation.
so I have to read A again.
If you're not sealing the minutes, I would just specify the session that you're not sealing.
Oh,
Like in
okay.
Tamworth, I have them come out of non-public, not me. They come out of non-public, and then they basically report to me, and we're not sealing session 1A, just so you know. So
We're
that-
not sealing, and include not sealing 1A. How's that? No, we still don't have it right.
That's fine.
Session.
Make that motion.
Second, those in favor, say aye.
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 So the only motion was to come out of non-public, really? And then you're reporting that you did not seal your A.
Right.
Before we adjourn the meeting, can I ask one question?
Yep. Well, we have one other thing, don't we have to, did you get that information back yet?
Yep. So for the 2023 audit, the county spent $42,500.
And that was 2023.
Yep.
Yes.
Correct. Yep.
Correct, because during the delegation meeting, the CFO did not have a concrete number, and I didn't know why. And like you said, because they may run certain tests and it may cost a certain amount. But I never understood that, because it's a contract to do something. You're saying you're gonna pay them, and you don't know exactly how much you're paying. And that I always questioned that, but
Well, I'm wondering if they don't have an hourly rate or something. I don't know, but we can still
oh,
hold that.
she
till-
might have said something
I
about it.
believe there was an hourly.
I thought there was a number in there.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
an hourly rate.
Okay, well, what is that hourly rate? That would be
I
a
didn't
good
see
thing.
it in the contract anywhere, but I
There
didn't.
was something in there. I don't know if I have it with me.
I would think we could get some sort of rate sheet, at least that the senior accountants are X amount per hour and the helpers
Right, I
are
would think
this.
so.
You don't have to approve it today
No,
unless
we
you
don't
really
have
want
to do
to.
it today, so we can do that next time.
I mean, that way-
My question is, who, has our legal counsel reviewed that water line contract? Since I didn't see it, and I wasn't given the opportunity to look at it before we voted on it, I'm assuming somebody's going to look at it. Have any of us looked at it?
But I had,
Yeah,
You looked at the contract?
yeah,
When did you get it? Because I don't have it.
well, I have no idea, I don't remember that. A while ago, I'm
Okay.
even thinking of the plan and not the contract, but I remember reviewing
The
stuff
plan,
on it.
not the contract. The contract itself, usually we have our counsel look at, hopefully.
Okay, well, I'm just thinking one, I don't know which one it was,
Some,
or both.
is somebody, who's gonna look at it? Is our counsel gonna look at it?
yeah, we can have them, we can send it.
Well, somebody should look at it beside, I mean, who looked at it
If they
beside
have it
the line?
already, I'm not sure, because this has been going on for well over a year, so,
Yeah,
or more.
who has the contract, the actual contract we're gonna sign?
So what you signed today, I'm just looking at what you signed today, it says authorization to proceed.
Yeah,
I'm not sure that it's actually a contract,
Right,
it's just
it's
between Underwood and the county, so the contract should be forthcoming for
I think-
both of them.
yeah, I think it's just a letter of intent.
That was a letter of
For
intent.
Do you
That's all we
want-
signed today. And
Sorry.
yeah,
Do
we
you want
not-
your
did
general
we not
counsel
vote
to review the contracts before you actually execute those, or?
So we didn't
Sign the
vote,
contract.
we didn't vote to approve, sign the contract today.
right. Just the letter of intent.
Okay.
Those water contracts, well now, the way she said it, those contracts, you're authorizing them to go forward and send those contracts out to the contractors.
Right.
So
So,
I would go back to what your policies say. You worked very hard on policies. Does your policy say that everything that we sign contracts with have to go to the attorney? I thought there
I
was
don't-
something written somewhere.
I don't know, I don't think so. It's never really come up, we usually send them anyway.
Well, that was a good idea to start.
Yep. Okay.
We need a motion on that, or?
I'm not sure what we're doing, but, okay. I'm still not sure what we're doing, but, okay.
I thought you,
Find out.
I thought you wanted it reviewed by the attorney.
It does say that, in what you signed today, at the end, it says contract signing December 2024, so I don't know if you signed contract, if this is the contract, or, Just-
My understanding was just more or less a letter of intent to carry on.
Well, I'm hoping we're not signing a contract nobody's looked at, that's for sure. That would not be good.
Do you have
do you
anything
want me to
else?
call before you adjourn, or you just want to hold off? You know,
Let's find out.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, I can call Lynette real quick if,
I don't know.
okay.
I mean, your contract is with Underwood Engineering. It's not
Right, it's
with
not,
their subcontractors.
it's not with your subcontractors, yes. We may have signed a contract with Underwood, because we've been doing this for a long time,
It's been very long.
this water thing.
Looks like a contract to me.
Sometimes you have to sign it to see what's in it.
Okay,
So it appears.
Yeah.
See, one of the policies is to have a grant review committee, which you have in your policies, but you don't use. My question would be, if I was part of the grant review committee, is I would say, well, what are the requirements for ARPA? Do you have to have the contract reviewed? What about insurance? And there's a lot of questions with contracts. You might have done this in the beginning, way before you guys started, because it was before you. They started the,
That was way before me.
yeah. But I don't think even you were here when they began this whole project on 28.
Neither one of us were here for sure.
I don't think anybody's reviewed it.
I was here.
As far as the grant review committee.
Well, they don't use the grant review committee anymore. I do not know why. But I still think there was a policy in there
But we
that
better go
said,
quick. We have trouble coming. That is dog.
No, I think that's Carroll.
No, he's watching. He's sending me messages.
Oh, okay, I thought that was sitting outside.
No,
Told me he was disappointed you didn't give Chuck a few more weeks.
see, that's why it's good to fall back on policy.
Yeah.
If I was a commissioner, I would want a policy that says every contract that's over a certain amount of money must be reviewed by the attorney. You have a separate labor attorney to review your labor agreements, correct?
let's go on the website.
And so I thought there was another attorney you were gonna use for all other
They have
contracts.
a municipal attorney
Correct.
now too.
So that's why I'm saying that I remember either there was a talk of a policy or there is a policy that it is supposed to be reviewed, and it may have been reviewed all the way in the beginning. Because these contracts are set 1, and then number 2, and number 3, and now we're on number 4. And number 4 is the water mains.
I don't think
Contract.
all that stuff was up and going to be reviewed. I think they're just finally getting it together to review, you know, the contract in the last few months.
I think it's a big waste of our money. We should just, if we're gonna spend the money, this one-time fee, give the people their own water. Let them pay the bill after that.
See, this is why grant review is important, because you have terms. Any kind of contract or grant has terms in it.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know what happens if Underwood doesn't perform.
No.
Does that say in the contract? I don't know.
Okay.
This,
How much control do you give to the federal government?
Okay, yes, it is not a contract, it's more or less a letter of intent that goes out to the contractors, and then we get all their information, and we have a copy of the contract, is that right already? Melissa has a copy of it, so if we want to, we can send it to our attorneys before.
Well, I don't think we should do any contracts without sending them to the attorneys, because I don't have a law degree. And I think it's a good idea to read those. So I would definitely say, and I think, isn't that our policy? Do we not have a policy to do that?
It's since you've retained general counsel, it's become your practice. I mean, the last few contracts have been sent for review. We can make a policy, but
We should.
what would you like me to do?
It never hurts. The more people look at it, the better.
Nothing
Sometimes.
else?
Would you like me to send it to general counsel to review?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, is it the final it's the final contract between Underwood and the county?
Yep, and it's between the contractor and the county. So I have a template that they use, and now they'll just plug in the amount awarded, the name of the company, the details, but I have the skeleton of contract.
How many pages is that?
I don't know. I didn't know I had it. Until I just got off the phone with her, it was in the original project manual that was sent out to the bidders.
Which I think I still have it, it
So
might even be in my car.
I remember at the time I had sent all of you a link because the document was so big we
Right.
couldn't download it.
Yeah,
So-
I knew today was just I was pretty sure today was just like a letter of intent that we intend to follow through with it, but it wasn't an actual
But it
contract.
doesn't contractually obligate us to
No.
do anything.
No.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
anything else? No. Okay, motion to adjourn?
I'll second that. I'll make the motion, yeah, but I have to make the motion.
When is it? Second. What? Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And just a reminder, there is no meeting next week unless there's an emergency. And if there is an emergency, we do not have to post or anything. So hopefully there won't be any emergencies.
So Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas.
And have a wonderful Christmas.
Thank you, you too.
This goes back to the
It's attorney.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be back on my birthday, bring cake. January 2nd.
Hey, happy New Year. January 2nd, huh?
Yes, I like cheesecake. I don't like
Oh,
January 2nd is what?
my birthday.
cheesecake.
It's your next meeting and it's my birthday.
Oh, are you? What
So
about-
you need to soften the blow with cake.
Somebody told me that.
Well, we,
Oh, are you? Okay.
$11:31.
well, let's see if she changes her mind.